and welcome to another edition, another episode of TrampCast. This time, TrampCast 19. The 400 subscriber celebration episode. 400. What the hell are you doing? Okay, folks. I am Delta Mike. The channel is Down and Out in Torrevieja. Down and out? A tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, a homeless guy, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. And here we are again, folks, in Torrevieja on the southeast coast of Spain, Costa Blanca South. And it's been another week, hasn't it? Hey? They're already passing by, aren't they? I think I mentioned in one of the videos, I don't know if it's one of the ones that I've released yet or not, I can't remember which one it was. I think I filmed it on the 25th. And I made a point of wishing you all a Merry Christmas for 2024. With just 11 months to go. We're already a month in, almost, on the new year. Okay, this is a reminder for people later. You guys that are here now live, you don't need to worry about this, but people who join later, check in the bottom left-hand corner of the player. You're looking for the word live and a red dot next to it. If it hasn't got a red dot, hit that, and that'll jump you forward to wherever we are in the live stream here and now. Otherwise, you might make a comment and you might be an hour behind us, because apparently YouTube has a terrible habit during live streams of dropping you in at the beginning. And so if the broadcaster, if the creator is an hour ahead of you and you're back here, you just trail behind for the whole show. And then at the end, when YouTube decide to make the whole thing private, you get kicked out and thrown out until I go in and make the stream public again. And there's no way to stop it doing that. It does that, and then I have to go in and tweak things to make them available again. So that's just a quick reminder for you folks who may be joining after the show starts. Okay, as I just mentioned, we hit 400 subscribers this week. Only a couple of days. When was that? Friday night into Saturday morning. I was on 399 and I tweeted out, and somebody retweeted me, and I picked up another subscriber. A bloke called Christian. Subscriber number 400. So that happened, and a few more besides. It's quite another one. I think I mentioned in last week's TrampCast that the week before we'd had a video that was a runaway success, and this one has beaten it by almost every metric possible. I think the video is 5 or 6 days old, but for the first 2 or 3 days it did nothing, and I made a couple of changes that seem to have worked, and 18 or 1900 views later, here we are with 40 or so new subscribers. So as normal, guys, we're going to just kill a little bit of time here at the beginning while we wait for any stragglers to join us. Hopefully we'll get a few more. Not a lot of you out there at the minute. Tradition as well, folks. We got to do the traditional thing, and there's Tina. I don't know how well you can see her. Not particularly well on my screen. But there she is, looking right at us. Tina, say hello to the peoples. Yes. Say hello. She's coming, look. Come on, come say hello. Yeah. Come on, I'll give you a cuddle from the peoples. Yeah, there they all are. They want to cuddle you. Everyone says you're gorgeous. That's right. Now go and finish your food. Tina's food. So there's one of the traditions taken care of. On with the next, folks. So as I said, this is episode 19. Because last week, when we kind of ran out of time, I did a 18 part 2. Because I'd not researched number 19 at that point. But as we do to kill a little bit of time early on, we do a few facts about the number 19. Tina? Karen says hello. Yeah. Tina says hello back. She didn't really. That would be strange, wouldn't it? Hey, babe. Yeah. Okay, the number 19. 19 is a prime number, divisible only by itself on the number 1. In chemistry, the 19th element on the periodic table is potassium, which has the symbol K from an old Latin word of kalium. The modern name that we use, potassium, is derived from potash, which is basically the remnants of burning organic matter. Basically, burn wood, the ash that you get has a high potassium concentration. Okay, other uses of the number 19. If you go back just a couple of years, well, actually it's 4 now, isn't it? There was a pandemic with the number 19 in it. COVID-19. Tina girl, come back. Come back here. Come on. I'll give you a treat if you come back and be nice. Come here. Sorry folks, she looked like she was about to run away. COVID-19, obviously a use of a topical use of the number 19. Here's another one. This is a sciencey one, I guess. The James Webb Space Telescope has 19 hexagonal mirrors that were all folded together, and when it launched into space with them all compact, it then had to do an origami thing to unfold the whole thing and slide everything out into place. 18 of those hexagons around the edge reflect things onto onto the 19th mirror, which then is part of the whole. Tina girl. Dog. Oi, stop it already. So those 18 reflect onto this one main mirror, which then does the actual job of what it's doing, giving it the highest resolution of telescopes out there, far surpassing a Hubble. And I was just reading and watching a video the other day about how it's exacerbating what's being called the it's the problem in astrophysics, the crisis in astrophysics. Tina girl, shush. They got 2 ways of measuring the size of the universe and the rate of expansion. Tina, enough. 2 ways of measuring this thing, and they're getting different numbers from the 2 ways. And it used to be that the error bars overlapped, so both could be correct within their limits. But that's out the window now, as they've carried on using these 2 systems, and the James Webb Telescope does its measurements using these 2 ways. They're getting diverging readings, diverging figures. So things, James Webb giving us more data, but causing a crisis in astrophysics and cosmology. Well, there you go, 19 mirrors. As I mentioned, I think I mentioned this in the 18th episode, part 2. The Paul Hardcastle song about the Vietnam War, and about how the average age of death in the Vietnam War was 19. And there were a couple of parody songs around that, but one of them, the one that's best known, is about cricket. And how David Gower, the England captain, kept scoring miserably in test matches. And the assertion was that his average score was 19. Also 19, I mentioned previously, was Richie Benaud took 19 wickets against England in a test match once upon a time. What else we got? What else we got? Adele, her first album was called 19. What else? Golf 19th hole. I'm not going to say anything because that'll start some of you guys off and we'll just, we'll end up fighting again. We don't want that. 19th Amendment to the US Constitution gave women the right to vote. And another one about the Vietnam War. I think this is my final fact on the number 19. The Vietnam War lasted 19 years. From late in 55 until early in 75. So not the 20 that 55 to 75 would immediately imply, but 19. So there we go, folks. And I guess we had some success there. We were doing that to fill some time while some extra people arrived, and here you all are. Folks, if you haven't hit the like button yet, this is your invitation to do so. Just to give a signal to YouTube. And maybe let them bring in a few others. For the late arrivals, this is the 400 subscriber celebration stream. We hit the magical number on Friday night into Saturday morning. Just after a rodent issue. I don't know how many of you saw the video this morning. Not many, apparently. I had to put warnings on it so that it wouldn't be to everybody's taste and that should be avoided by those not interested in such things. Okay. The next topic, the getting to know you phase. This is another one of just introducing myself to you and to some of you guys who are, if there's any of you newcomers here and any who watch in the following days. If you want to know more about me, if you haven't seen TrampCast 001, that's the place to get the full backstory. Who I am, what my background is, my education background and employment background some people ask about. How I ended up in Torrevieja, how I ended up homeless. Blame Santander Bank is a potted. That's the short version. But TrampCast 001, if you go and find that afterwards, that will answer all of your questions. It is a bit of a long one. I think it was 2.5 hours. I am thinking about maybe doing a more condensed, scripted kind of documentary, rather than a rambling chat, which these TrampCasts are. This is me talking to you and you talking back, and I saw there was a chat question before. So I'll just jump into that. Tom asks, is Tina a rescue dog? She is. She came from quite a way away. I think the place is called APSA, the rescue, the animal rescue place. In a place called Albox, something like that. My pronunciation will be all wrong, but a place down in Murcia. A lady was fostering her up here. She'd seen Tina on, she was called Albertina to begin with. I shortened the name because I didn't want to be standing shouting Albertina. Also, I had friends called Tina, so it kind of worked. So this lady fostered Tina, and it didn't work out because the lady's other dog was aggressive towards her, and Tina was already quite nervy because of the abuse that she'd had previously. So I bumped into this lady one day in a park, well, at a kiosk. Here I go again. At a kiosk in a park, and me and Tina had an obvious connection. Everyone around us saw it and said, you know, you must take that dog. We're not going to talk to you again if you don't take that dog. So I said yes. Went to the Chino Bazaar and bought the necessary supplies, and the next day in the park got Tina. Hey babe. She's looking at me all oh no, now she looks away just so I get the camera. Hey babe. Cuddles. Yeah. Cuddles. She likes her cuddles. Don't you? Eh? You like your cuddles? So does Daddy. Okay, guys, the getting to know you stuff. I guess a question about Tina, that counts as getting to know you. I wrote a couple of others down here about. I downloaded a few files recently with a bunch of getting to know you questions. I have to skip some of them because they're from kind of dating websites, really. Some of these. I just did a search for getting to know you questions. So I want to see the one I've got here is do you listen to any podcasts? And I do a lot of podcasts and YouTube videos, YouTube channels. I've talked about a few in the past. One of which is going to go through a major change from next week onwards. I've talked in the past about a channel called Big Clive. BigClive.com as a word, all one word. Big Clive, DOTCOM. And he has 1 million subscribers. He's in the Isle of Man and does electronics teardowns. He takes things apart. Buys dodgy electronics in Poundland and stuff and takes them apart and analyses how bad they are. But he also, during the lockdown, he started a Saturday night, what he called kind of guys getting together in the pub kind of thing. People just chatting, and he'll chat about his videos, but also just about life in general. And he has quite let's call him a diverse audience. He's gay, and a lot of these guys that are good with the electronics. Electricians and guys in electronics. I know there's a difference between electric and electronic, but a lot of those technical guys who take apart forklift trucks and put them back together for a living, mechanics and what do they call it, HVAC, heating, ventilation and air conditioning guys. A lot of them are either on the spectrum with like autism and things, or what once upon a time we would call sexual deviants, and they're all laughing. It gets a little bit vulgar at times. Is Big Clive Life. But after 4 years now of doing those started in early 2020. After 4 years, next week's episode is going to be his last. Maybe last for a while. It might just be a rest, or he might be backing away from that. So I'm going to miss that on a Saturday night. But there's a lot of others. The Friday Night Tights I've talked about a lot. That's one where guys get together and discuss films, videos, TV programs, computer games, just pop culture in general. There's another one, Linus Tech Tips, which is a big channel with 11 or 12 million followers now, I believe. They do a podcast late on Friday night for them, Saturday, like 3 or 4 in the morning for us, called The WAN Show, WAN, which Wide Area Network is what that would originally have stood for. So if you're a company and you've got multiple networks and you join the networks together, that's a wide area network. If you then join a bunch of wide area networks together, you get what we call the internet. You might have heard of it. It's this new craze that's going around. Okay, enough of the sarcasm. Lots and lots of other podcasts and things. I like Joe Rogan as well. Although those are long and he does a lot of them, I don't get through many of them. But I'm going to do a separate video maybe, looking at some of the podcasts and YouTube channels that I follow. So we'll do that in another. We'll do an expanded version of this question. Another one we've got here is about books and favourite authors. And my absolute favourite author of all time is Jerome K. Jerome, JKJ. Just before the turn of the century, 19th century into the 20th, so 1880s, 1890s into the early 1900s. Books like 3 Men in a Boat and 3 Men on a Bummel, which is a strange word. Apparently it's a German word. A bummel is a trip where you start from a point and there's no end point and no particular planned route. The the aim is that you go out and you're going to come back, and you've got to be back. There's a finish point time-wise. Let's say you've got 5 days. You're going to go out, you're going to go, and you've got to be back by such and such a time to catch the ferry or whatever to go home. So that jaunt, that journey out and back. So a lot of people thought that Bummel must be the name of a like a vehicle, a bicycle, or a car, or an early automobile. But no, it was a German word that never really took off. He tried to introduce it into English. But his books are they're all comedic. They're everything goes wrong. Everything's a disaster with these guys with his characters in his book or books. One of the best ones, the first one I read of his, was Idle Thoughts of an Idle Fellow. It starts with a guy reading a book, I think in a library, and he's reading diseases. He's the typical hypochondriac, and he's just convinced he's got every disease. And it just goes from there. It's just the idle thoughts of this lounger, this lazy guy who never gets anything done, procrastinates, puts everything off. I like older books. I like the ones from around that period, late 19th, early 20th century, and some older ones. Tom Brown's School Days, and have we got that? No, Tom Jones' School Days and Tom Brown's Adventures. Those ones, anyway. In fact, I was in the middle of reading one of those when my Kindle broke, my original Kindle, just the electronic book reader, when I first got damaged in a bad rainstorm while I was still living in the park, but it was still working. And then I moved into this field, and that first night in this field we got flooded and everything electronic was broken. So I then spent 3 or 4 months with nothing, no electronics. Until 2 ladies, Anita and Tina, bought me this phone. And they bought me a radio before that. That was my first starting to get back into the world, to listen to a radio. But then they took pity on me and bought me this phone. And I've built this massive YouTube empire from there. All 400 of you. Cheers to the subscribers. Cold coffee with hot chocolate mixed in. Well, cold. Drinking chocolate powder. The drinking chocolate was actually added three drinks ago, but you know how it just turns to sludge in the bottom of the cup. You never actually get rid of that stuff. There'll still be chocolate in the bottom of this cup in a week's time if I don't clean the cup out, if I just keep using it. Just doesn't dissolve, does it? Drinking chocolate powder just does not dissolve. If I'm convinced that the only things that you can put into water that will dissolve are sugar and instant coffee powder. Everything else just sits there and laughs at you. Whether it's Horlicks, a malted milk drink, whether it's, I don't know, I can't think of any others, but you put a powder into water and it's just going to sit and look at you and laugh, unless it's instant coffee or sugar. There you go. That should be my next rant when I do Tramp Rant number 2. Because Tramp Rant number 1 last week was so successful. Not. That was the one about solar panels and how they can't possibly be 1,000 times more efficient than they are now. Okay, folks, I guess we can cut that part up there. We're 25 minutes in. Let's make a start on the proper video, shall we? Themes for the week. This past week. The usual ones, really. On the whole. Money. Shopping. Food. I said last week I was going to cook or bake and do a cookery video, maybe. Didn't. Not only did I not do a cookery video, I didn't really cook. Twice I had fried egg sandwiches. That's it. That's the only cookery I've done all week. The rest of the week I've lived on baguettes and whatever you put on bread. You know, I got some aioli. I got chorizo. I got grated cheese in a bag, pre-done from the supermarket. And I've got onions. Slice the onions thinly. have them raw with the cheese, maybe with the mayonnaise spread on the bread. Yeah, spread. I've got margarine as well. If you remember the bag from last Saturday, the bag of food that I found there had a spread in it, and mayonnaise as well, didn't it? Message. Oh, sorry, I saw there's a message there, but my screen stopped responding to touch. It does this periodically. Oh, here we go. Now it's on. Calaferris is a good place, but they want to put a fence up and kind of ruined it. Used to be a Spanish homeless guy living there. I think I've been told about that one before. Yeah. To be honest, I'm sound here. Once they did the land works at the top and dug a trench to carry excess water away, prevent flooding, people here now seem to know me. The ones who want to ignore me just put their head down as they go past. The ones who want to wave and pip their horn and say hello, say hello. One or two of them help me out. No real problem with anybody. The police have left me alone now for ever since that last arrest. When was that? September, October? September, I think. They come past every now and again and look, but they've never questioned me. A couple of times I've fled. They come around, go at the bottom of the road, and if I see them just turning around and coming back, me and Tina head off through the trees and just go and stand on the cliffs. Don't make it easy for them, folks. Don't make it easy. I'm under no obligation to stand and wait for them to initiate some conversation and, you know. As far as I know, I'm not in trouble with anybody at the minute, but why, you know, why risk it? The attitude that they've had in the past, where the guys wanted fights and things, where the guys stood and demanded that I be gone by tomorrow, otherwise I'll have a problem with me. You'll have a problem with me. And he literally chest forward, head forward, arms back and fists. Ugh. Yeah. How to de-escalate. That's not how. Okay, back to the themes for the week. Shopping, food, yeah, okay, other rodents. They left me alone. I kept suspecting that there was one inside the bedroom somewhere. But I know that I've got one bag there with food in, like a shopping bag. Basically the things that I'm eating at night. And it's a brand new Mercadona bag. It's the one that Karen gave me with my birthday present and Christmas present in back at the end of last year. So basically, there's half a baguette. Whenever I finish, the main food stores are all away elsewhere, but at night I might have a midnight snack, and then I'll just put I'm not getting out of bed again to put everything away. So it just goes into this bag, and it's on top of everything else. But I'll hear a scurrying around somewhere, or what I think's a scurrying around. Sometimes it's just a ripple in the fabric of the tent as the wind blows round, or with the tarpaulin on the roof, because the tent's split down the middle. Things move and make a noise, and you think you hear things and you're not quite sure. Occasionally it is, and you'll see it jump out of the doorway, you'll see its backside. Because I can't close the door. Closes along the bottom, but I've got wires coming in from my battery bank from the solar system, the solar power. And sometimes you see the mouse running in or ring out, but not for a while. But I've been hearing things, and they're too fast. I can't actually catch them. If you've ever seen a mouse and tried to catch it, the only time I got close, well, I did hit one on the head with a hammer once. Oh, I stomped one with my foot once. Yeah, but I didn't. When I lifted my foot and went for it, I didn't actually expect to make contact, but I did. And the time I hit one with a hammer, it was inside a carrier bag, so it was like shooting fish in a barrel. Dominic, hello. Hi. So yeah, mice. I suddenly, when was it? Like Wednesday or Thursday? I thought we haven't caught any of the traps for a while, and I went around and looked, and all the bait had gone off all of the traps, all of the mouse traps. I say all. I think I've got 3 functioning at the minute. I can't. Did I have 5? I think I had 5 at one point, and one bust apart, and then a little while ago, a second one bust apart. Basically, the staple. You got the metal bar that comes down. You got the big spring folded back, and the metal bar comes across and goes to the trigger. And at some point, the staple that holds that retaining bar popped out of the wood. The whole thing, the retaining bar and the staple were thrown across the tent and lost. I've since found the retaining bar, the 3 or 4 inch long metal bar, but I haven't found the staple. So I've got one. I've got 2 of my original 5 out of action, and we'll get to this. Another one is now looking dodgy. But I went around and oh, sloth bite. I went around and she won't eat the trapped mice. No, she ignores the mice altogether. I don't know. Although there was a time I think she killed a rat once. She was insisting on being outside in summer, being outside, well, the back end of summer. Was it? Or was it? Might have been early winter. She was insisting on being outside the tent at night. And when I got up in the morning, there was a rat with what looked like teeth marks in the bottom of its neck, dead on the. It was next to these bowls I've got here. I bent down to do something with one of these bowls, and there's a dead rat, full rigor mortis, rock hard. So I think Tina had bitten it in the neck and killed it. But then she leaves them alone. The mice she's always just ignored. She's literally sat there and let one run across the bottom of the bed before we were in the tent, when we were in a makeshift shelter. I know you've seen that video, Tom, where my tent, my shelter at that point was 6 broom handles, mop handles, hammered into the ground, and a tarp thrown over the top. And then when it sagged in the middle, I got some tree branches and bent them and tied them together, put stakes in the ground and tied the branches to the wooden stakes, and created an arch so that the roof wasn't concave. Make it convex rather than concave. But that was my shelter, but because there was no in here in the bedroom, I've got a plastic floor and an inner bedroom. It's a complete unit, or it was until the zip broke. But back then, where was I? Back then, it was just a tarp over the top, so anything could run in from any point, and they did. And the big ones especially. They ran away with a banana one day. They literally, I had a banana next to the bed, for ready for in the morning, or a midnight snacker in the morning. And when I got up, it had gone. And I found the banana skin outside the tent, about 4 meters outside of the shelter, not tent back then. But yeah, so the rats were a real problem, and Tina just, I don't know, seemed to ignore them. She didn't bother. I was chasing them with a knife and a piece of rebar. Trying to hit that. I didn't have any magic tools, but I had a woodworking knife, a kind of a survivalist knife kind of thing, for batoning wood, and I had this piece of rebar for hitting the knife that my friends Tina and Eddie gave me. Oh no, I don't do fishing. I was asked this earlier. No, I know nothing about fishing. It's a life skill that I now wish that I had. I mean, I don't have any equipment for it, and I know nothing about how to do it anyway. But I was telling someone earlier that I built a fish trap once. I took one of these plastic water bottles, these 8-litre water bottles, and the end with the spout, with the cap. I cut that off, took the cap off, turned it around, and stuck the top inside the open end, so that you've got like a funnel coming inwards, Inside, I fixed. I took two halves of a two of the bottom halves of a cola tin, punched holes in it, put some dog food inside, the dry dog food, pushed the two cola tins together, and put that inside the bottle. So the idea was you put in the water gets to the dry dog food, and it starts to, you know, to break down and come out in the water and attract the fish. And at some point, you then lift the whole bottle out of the water, maybe an hour later, maybe the next morning, whatever. But I never got as far as testing it. I looked at it and I thought where my rope went in, I thought it was all just a bit too weak. I think as soon as it was filled with water and I tried to lift it up, I think those holes would have just tore and broken, and I didn't have any confidence in it. And I don't know, here's the other thing about not having the knowledge. When do you do it? Do you do it just before high tide, before low tide, as the tide's coming in, as it's going out? I know nothing. And which fish can you eat? Can you eat any fish and all fish? Or are there some that you shouldn't eat? I don't know what's what. I mean, catching them, chopping the head off, gutting them, I'd have no problem with any of that. But just getting them and knowing what they are and when and where and how. And like I said, fishing itself, I've got no knowledge, I've got no equipment. I could probably throw something together. I could magic a safety pin into a hook. Because some ladies bought me safety pins a little while back for me to pin my doorway, the bedroom doorway, because the zip doesn't work. Tina, stop it, Del. So I could fashion something, but I'd look a right clown standing out there not knowing what I'm doing. It'd be cool to learn. Yeah, and there's YouTube, YouTube. There are YouTube videos and everything. YouTube is probably the greatest learning resource on the planet right now. In time, that's probably going to change. All these online videos services are going to fractionate, and you're going to go with Rumble or with Float Plane or these other services, Odyssey. There's a bunch of them springing up. So in a few years, YouTube are kind of doing their best to be their own worst enemy. They keep banning people over something and nothing. You make the wrong joke and you get banned. If a bunch of people who are of an opposite political persuasion to you complain en masse, you get banned. And so these people are all leaving and going to other platforms, other services. So YouTube is probably not going to be dominant a year or two from now. But they might still be the biggest, but they're not going to be like 99% of the video watching market as they kind of currently are. Anyway, back to the themes. We haven't even started with the weekly rundown yet. The other big theme of the week is YouTube. Me and YouTube. My channel. My video from last Sunday about Saturday night's find where I found a bag of food next to the bins up there. For the first, when did I publish it? Monday maybe. Until Wednesday, late morning Wednesday, it did nothing. 10, 20, 50 views, whatever. Suddenly, 10 or 11 o'clock on Wednesday morning, it started getting 10 views per hour, 20 views per hour, 40 views per hour, 60 views per hour for that one video. And here's the thing, when people are coming in to watch one particular video, you see a spike in all your other videos getting viewed as well. People maybe they watch that one video and YouTube offers up another. Or maybe they jib out and they end halfway through and they go away. But YouTube sees that they've watched 10 or 15 minutes of your video, and so they then start offering those people other videos of yours, or of mine in this case. And it just built from there. So that's been a major I've said previously, watching these graphs and watching the numbers shoot up. I'm kind of, league tables and graphs and things. That's kind of my bag. I don't know if I'm on the spectrum, but possibly. Tina girl, leave the people alone. Leave the nice people alone. Tina, shush. No, I didn't look. He did look, but then he looked away before I waved. Tina, sit down, darling. Be quiet. We're going to be cool soon in the shade. The sun's going to go behind this little bush. Okay, so yeah, watching these graphs, watching the number of visits, the number of hours of viewing, the number of subscribers. Wow. For a channel that normally, recently, so the first 100 seemed to come really quickly, my first 100 subscribers. The second 100 not so quickly, and it just kind of got slow, but from 300 to 400 has been an absolute slog. It's taken forever. I think it was mid-October when we hit 300. So that's 3 months nearly to get this so that's like one a day ish. So for someone who gets 30 new subscribers per month, let's say, to suddenly get 40 in the space of 4 days, is it Wednesday until now? And this video just kept going and going. I thought, I think it's Thursday night, I thought it died. Other videos, you hit midnight and they go from 20 or 30 views per hour to nothing, or to 2 or 3. You know, it just does this step down, just a massive drop off. And we had this on Thursday night while I was chatting with somebody, and bang, and I thought, oh, here we go. But when I woke up the next morning, it was picking up again. So that was nice. We'll get to that. I'm not getting into the details here. I'm just supposed to be discussing the themes. So this was a big thing for me, just the YouTube video taking off. And like I said, it was the one about finding a bag of food last Saturday night. And I tried to make a video Saturday night and my phone deleted it for me, which was nice. So I had to reshoot it Sunday morning. Technology, folks. Technology. Isn't it marvellous? Until it's not. Finally, speaking of technology, my nemesis. Done a couple of videos on them in the past. My telecoms provider over here in Spain, Lebara. Fuck you, Lebara. Fuck you. Lebara are a bunch of thieves. I will say that. Now they couch it, they hide it all in their terms and conditions. I did a tweet. I'll ask you guys the question because I don't think any of you follow me on Twitter. Very few people do. What is 50 plus 50 plus 50? Should be a fairly easy question. To anybody normal, that's 150, yeah? Let me explain. There's the 50, basically my package that I pay for gets me 100 gigabytes per month. That's kind of how it's advertised, 100 gig. But once you click through and look at the terms and conditions, you're getting 50 gigabytes that you've paid for, and then they've gifted you 50. And they make a big deal of telling you that anything unused rolls over. It accumulates. You get to use, so if you've got some left over at the end of the month that you haven't used, don't worry, it doesn't disappear, it carries over. So next month you'll have the 100 that you paid for that month, and whatever rolled over, whatever you had left over. So last Sunday, I mentioned in last week's TrampCast that that my package was due to expire at midnight Sunday night, Monday morning, that midnight. And I was going to take a screenshot of how many gigabytes I had left at, say, 5 to 12. And after it renews, I was going to take a look at how many were left, you know, how many were on my account after they've taken my money. Couldn't do it. Their app was, oh, we're down for maintenance for 4 days. We'll get to it, folks. We'll get to it. I'll give you the potted summary now because I've started. Otherwise, I might not come back to it. So they tell me on the Sunday morning, I get a text saying you've got 66 gigabytes left, and you're like, okay, great. I'm going to pay for 100, and I'll have my 66. And they say in their text, don't worry, unused gigabytes roll over, or accumulado in Espanol. And they tell you this. You've got 65 and a half, 66, whatever it is, and they roll over. Nice. Except they don't. It's a fucking lie. Not all of them roll over. Hidden in their terms, this is why they break down. You see, I told you get 100. They tell you you're getting 100 gigabytes. But then when you look into it, you're paying for 50 and being gifted 50. And the reason they break it into these two bunches is because this bunch, the gifted ones, don't roll over. So the maximum you can roll over is 50. So this was my mathematical joke. 50 plus 50 plus 50. Let's say you started the month, you paid for 100, or paid for 50, being gifted 50, and you had 50 rollover from the previous month. Let's assume you used nothing all month. So comes time to roll over, you've got 150. How much rolls over? 50 plus 50 plus 50 equals 50. Because thieving bastards. Like I said, they couch it all in weasel words in the terms and conditions, but it's not what their text message says that you get on the Sunday morning. It's not what their actual wording says when it comes to you. It literally says, don't worry, unused gigabytes roll over. So for 3 months now, I've been complaining that something doesn't feel right. It feels like I haven't got what I should have after renewing. And it's taken me this long to pin it, to work out what was going on. I thought I should have had 165 gigabytes. And when I look like 3 or 4 days later, I've got 135. And I check and I've only used 1 or 2 gigabytes each day. Because I'd not been putting out much in the way of YouTube videos. Because I was busy watching the numbers rise. So I thought, there's no way that I've used 30 gigabytes in these 3 days. Just no way in hell. So Labara, thieving bastards. Pardon my Anglo-Saxon, folks. This might be the next Tramp rant. Because they've stung me before. These rolled over gigabytes. If I step down to the next package down, if I think, oh, I've got so many left over, I won't need to pay for 100 this month. Maybe I'll go for the next package down and only get 50 or 60, whatever the next one down is. And together with my rolled over gigabytes, that'll be fine. I'm a customer, I've got some left over, and I buy that. No, if you switch packages, they go away. They just delete them. They rob them from you. They disappear, evaporate. And it's probably buried in terms and conditions somewhere, but I can't find it. I've looked. Terms and conditions that you can't find are not terms and conditions. They're just magic bullshit that their legal department can throw at you after the event. And relax. Okay, folks. 49 minutes in. Shall we start? We start with my report of the week's activities, where we left off last time. Sunday night, after the TrampCast. Nothing much to report, except, as usual, after sitting down for 2 hours, if you remember, we didn't finish last week. We only got up to Wednesday, and I had to come back on the Monday and do the rest of the week. So if you were here last week and you saw what I've called episode 18 part 1, but you haven't seen part 2, that's available separately. And I'll edit the description later to this video and put links to, or you can search for it. TrampCast 018 part 2. If you didn't catch that. But what I'm saying is, when we finished, And after sitting down for 2 hours and I stood up, my legs were just gone again. They were... I'm not used to sitting down. I'm either laying down in the tent or I'm walking around or doing things in camp. Sitting down for 2 hours. There's this thing, isn't there, this modern idea that sitting down is killing you. And I think it probably is. It's quite possible that lying down too much or laying down too much, I'm not sure the proper past participle there, but it's quite possible that that's killing me as well. But I really felt it when I got up after sitting down for 2 hours. It's like the blood flow just wasn't in my legs. They were ice cold because no blood. So I did the usual thing. I took herself here for her walkies. Yeah. Not much else, except I was waiting for this Labara thing. This renewal was that night. And like I said, when I went into the app to look at how many gigabytes left, the app was out of order, down for maintenance. And it was literally down for maintenance for 4 bloody days. So that was Sunday night. Monday, for some reason, I just didn't make notes. I got no... What I should have done, I should have gone back and watched TrampCast 18 Part 2, because I did that on Monday afternoon. It's about the only thing I can tell you about Monday just gone, is that I spent half the afternoon preparing. Not too much to prepare, because it was the notes from that episode, but there was little bits. But then doing the actual TrampCast, doing this broadcast, this show, this program to the world. It sounds so grand when I call it a program or a show. But that's all I know about Monday. Can't have been anything too great, can it? I think the weather was okay. I don't remember. I got no idea, but suffice to say, nothing bad happened. That's all I can tell you, folks. Tuesday. Really late start to the day, and I'm not sure why. Hold on. I've skipped Monday, haven't I? Oh no, Monday no notes, and doing the TrampCast again, part 2. I'll lose track so easily. So yeah, Tuesday was a late start. We didn't get to do Tina's morning walk until lunchtime, noon, or thereabouts, maybe a little bit after. And I took a video of a really nice boat out really close into shore. It was bigger. It was too close in for the size of it. Where it was, normally there's a line of buoys, floats, buoys, you would say in America. The orange floaty things in water. There's a line of those most of the year out there, but they've taken them away at the minute. But I'm sure this boat was closer in than where that line would be. And the line is to keep it away from rocks and swimmers and, people who might be close by on the foreshore there. But I took this video, but that's all there was. There was nothing else. So I haven't done anything with that. And this happens a bit, where quite often, where at the end of the week I look back and there's 3 or 4 clips, 3 or 4 short videos that are too short to put out as a standalone video. And I was wondering whether you guys, is there any interest if I was to string 3 or 4 of these little clips together and just call it like random outtakes from the week or random shots from the week? Is that something people would watch? See, what I don't want to do, I can't put out a video that's like 1 minute, because on average people watch less than half of whatever length your video is. You put out a 1 minute video, people are going to watch 30 seconds on average, because some people misclick, they click through on something and then straight out. So it balances out. Someone else watches it all, and the average is half, and sometimes less. So you'd like to see them. It's interesting. I would just have to string them together. Maybe nice transitions, like a slideshow, but then with the little clips. Maybe some music or something put behind it, or a little bit of commentary. I don't know. I can maybe look at that, because, like I said, I get these clips and I just got nothing to do with them. This morning, there was a paraglider type. Is it paraglider? Yeah, with the fan, a parachute with a fan on the guy's back, kind of thing, or he's sat in a like a buggy with a parachute above him and a big fan on his back. There's one of those buzzing around. I didn't film it because I was inside, but I could have come out and caught it on film. But I just didn't think there was any point. I didn't think it would make a good standalone video. But maybe it's something I'm thinking about. It's something I'm thinking about. Tina girl, Tina. That's enough. So what else? That was Tuesday, late start and this nice boat on the water. The only other thing Tuesday really was shopping. This thing all week, because I wasn't cooking. So I go and I buy 3 baguettes and something to put on them. And the 3 baguettes will last 2, sometimes 3 days, and then it's back to the shop again. And maybe I've got enough chorizo left, maybe I haven't. Or maybe I've got aioli, you know, the garlic mayonnaise stuff. It's just that back and forth. And I'm, again, low on, not on PayPal, but I'm low on readies, cash in my pocket, or have been all this week, trying to manage. Some guys exchanged some cash for me from PayPal into cash. I think it might be 2 weeks ago now. It might be, I'm not sure. But that first week, the money just, I'm not saying it just went. Well, it did, because I'd not been shopping for 3 weeks, I think, at that point. Not a proper shop. Potatoes, onions, carrots, peppers, whatever. I hadn't done any of that since before Christmas. So when they did that, I went shopping and spent 20 something straight away out of 50. And then, you know, another couple. I'm sure I used to be able to live on a £5 a week. Can't do it anymore. Everything's gone up so much, and maybe I've become soft and just used to having stuff. I don't know. I am kind of aggregating. I am collecting. You know, if you buy a jar or a carton of something, and then you keep them for a rainy day. You don't want to use everything you've just bought. But over time, I think I am accruing jars of beans or cartons of chickpeas, tins of tomatoes, or so maybe I just need to make more of an effort to use up what I've got. But somehow I'm not living as cheaply as I used to. It's not only that I'm not living on €5 a week, I'm not living on €10 a week. It's like a big shop every 2 or 3 weeks like that of €20, and then 10 a week or more. Not sure. I might have to start logging. You keep a log of what I'm buying and where it's going, because I don't know. It just seems a little bit like money slipping through my fingers. Burns a hole in my pocket, as we used to say. So that keeping food while not cooking and having food on hand while not having a lot of cash. Yeah. Also, my phone bill goes from my PayPal, and like I said, it's. I'm not begging. Got to be careful what I say, because you guys are too generous. But where are we? Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday night after the shopping and while having a picnic in bed, a midnight picnic with bread and mayonnaise and chorizo and all the good stuff. Tina girl, I'm going to get angry. Do you want a treat? Let's give you a nice treat. Come here. Can you on camera? I'll catch you. Yeah, besitos para papi. Besitos para mí. Kisses for daddy. Cheers, folks. If you're playing along at home, drink. I'm starting to not like that. I used to like the chocolate with the coffee with a bit of chocolate in. Maybe it's because I've run out of sugar. I don't know. Where was I? Whilst having my midnight feast, my picnic in bed, or just after, started tweaking some videos. And by tweaking, I mean going into them. I got an app called vidIQ. If any of you guys are YouTubers, you probably know vidIQ. They do videos telling you how to do this YouTube stuff. But they also have an app that makes it easy for you to click through and change keywords and titles and descriptions. So this reminds me of my old search engine optimization days, back when websites was my business. Before we morphed more into programming and internet security. And it's like that again. It's going in and finding the right words and reinforcing the right words. If you've used, I'll give you an example. If you've used the word clouds in the title, don't hammer the word keywords, the keyword cloud, singular. If you've used plural in the title, stick with plural as your main focus in the keywords and in the description. Put clouds in as well as an alternate. If you use the plural, put the singular in as a alternate occasionally. But you want your main emphasis to reinforce your title. Title, keywords, description. Try and use the same. So basically I went through and tweaked a few things. I also, as I said previously, I use the word tramp a lot to describe myself and to describe the channel. This very program, TrampCast. YouTube really hate that word, tramp. I think I get away with it with TrampCast because it's not the word tramp. It's like trampoline isn't the word tramp. It's got a suffix on the end. So I get away with TrampCast, but if in my keywords I say Torrevieja tramp does this or tramp does that, like when I did the tramp cooks 9-month-old bacon and you can too, when I did that video, that was the last one that really took off, wasn't it? That was the one that got 1,400 views in the matter of 4 or 5 days, like this one did. Except this one got 1,800 and nearly 1,900. But I made some tweaks, and in particular I tweaked the was it Trump says thank you or thank you Torrevieja. I cut the word tramp out of there in a few places, and the next morning we had liftoff. So that was Tuesday. That was late Tuesday night. Like I said, it reminds me of my search engine optimization days, just tweaking them and going on in. And to help you, they give you a score, not YouTube, but this vidIQ. And I basically lifted the score for this video from under 50, 40 something, 42, 45. I lifted it up to 95 or something in their scoring. And that's when the next day, that's when things start to happen. So Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, we're into Wednesday. Forecast to be sunny all day, and I've been struggling again with the solar. My battery's been down at some nights down onto one of the 4 lights. Only one of them lit after the day's charging. I've been down on 1 or 2. Usually not on 1 after a day of charging, but usually sometimes only on 2 after a full day. And then I've got to charge my phone and these batteries in this light that I've got here, because the sun's going to go down shortly. How can I put that? So I have to keep these batteries charged. I have to keep my phone charged. And if we're only on 2 lights at the beginning of the night, you can imagine how low it's going to be by the next morning. So seeing that we're going to get a sunny day, and there's going to be a couple of them, maybe more, I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's get this thing charged. I want to see 4 lights. I've never yet got it to 4 lights. I will stop with this Jean-Luc Picard stuff eventually. No, I won't. I don't know why everything has 4 lights. The electronics industry must be taking part in the same meme, in the same joke. They must be. Everything that charges has 4 lights. And one day I will get this battery up to 4 lights. I've not seen it yet, but I will. So this was Wednesday. forecast for a sunny day. It started on 2 and hoping for a sunny day with lots of improvement. Tina, enough, darling. Suficiente. Basta. Ah, calmate, amiga mia. Tranquilo. Oh, calm down. This is stroking you. Just calm down. Sorry, folks. Barking dogs. Wednesday. Okay. Okay, this is when Jeff arrived. Jeff from Mark and Jeff, the guys who brought me the solar panels and the batteries and the charge controllers and wires and screwdrivers. I had a screwdriver once upon a time, and it got lost in the TARDIS that is the tent. If I put anything down out of place, if I don't put, everything has to have a place where it belongs. And my screwdriver belonged, I've got this little, it's like a corner shower, a set of trays or drawers, like for in a corner of a shower or a bathroom, you know, just a frame and a few little dishes, trays, and my screwdriver's in there. But this thing, I think it's designed to be hung on a wall, not to stand, because if you stand it, it pushes the bottom tray out, the whole thing loses rigidity and falls over. And at some point, it's fallen over inside the tent and the screwdriver's, gone walkabout. So when these guys brought me the second panel and I had to wire it in, I didn't have any way to do it. So they brought me a screwdriver, they brought me extra wires, they brought me some connectors for joining wires together. I mean, they're just electrical tape. Fantastic. But the last time Jeff had been here, he'd taken away 4 or 5 of these empty water bottles that I've got, because I still don't have a source for water. And when I did have a source, it wasn't safe. But he took away 4 or 5 of these, and he came back and brought me some water. This was Wednesday morning, and we had a good chat. Tina, oh God. So I'm in the bedroom. It's fairly early stage, somewhere around 9 o'clock or maybe just after. And Tina hears him say, "Hello, Dean." As he's walking down the path here, he lets me know that he's arriving. Tina, poof, out of the tent. Except I've got the bedroom door closed, pinned, safety pins, and some of the things at the top that would always come undone, I've broken the safety pin and turned it into like a spiral, just a metal twist holding things together so it can't come out or come undone. And I've got this thing fastened. I've got a mouse trap in front of the bloody doorway. Like I said before, the mice come in through the bottom of the door and hop in. So I've got a mouse trap there. Tina just runs through, foot in the mouse trap, bursts through these safety pins, pulls them apart, busts the pins on the door, comes out literally through the hole in the door that she created the last time she went out through the door, and goes off to meet Jeff. Again, I don't know how she does it. The mouse trap was triggered, but didn't hurt her. I don't know whether it caught her and it didn't hurt, or whether somehow she was in and out before it went off. I don't know how she does it, but apart from the damage to the tent, no real harm done, eh, darling? You got away with it again. You got a piece of grass on your nose. What are you doing? I don't know how she does it. Let me finish this cup of coffee and reach for the other. If you're playing along at home, cheers. Ah, it's nasty. Not nice. I don't know why. I used to enjoy this. Don't know. So where are we? Wednesday morning, Jeff arrived. Just after he left, oh, what I wanted to say about the water as well, there's a guy here, one of my neighbours, who's given me some water in the past. He gave me 4 or 5 bottles of water, and I see him every now and again to wave at, but I haven't seen him to talk to and to say, hey, can we do that again? So I was left a little bit, I was on my last I had 1.5 bottles left of water when Jeff arrived, and I was down to using the proper mineral water stuff, the proper water from the supermarket, which Jeff and Mark had brought me previously. I don't like to, like, it's too expensive to be using to feed a dog or for washing t-shirts or for me getting a wash with a cloth. You know, it's you know what I mean. It's expensive water. It's, what is it, €1 now nearly for 8 litres. That's too expensive to be just throwing around on feeding on a dog. You're worth it, darling, kind of, sort of. But I was getting low, and then he arrives with these 5 bottles, so that's good. I still don't really feel I've got enough. I've got 3 or 4 t-shirts to wash, and maybe a jumper, and maybe these trousers are due a wash. I haven't got enough to feel comfortable to be washing clothes. I got enough, like, for the next week, maybe slightly more for drinking, but not for. If you want to wash a few clothes, you've got to have like at least 3 or 4 of these bottles ready just to basically throw away, just to empty out. So managing water is difficult because I used to have a source for water, that went away. I found an alternate source. That was bad water, needed to be treated with either bleach or water purification tablets or boiled, which used to take me a hell of a lot of time. I used to spend all day chopping wood and all night boiling water, or all the late evening before bed. Before I got the barbecue, the grill, the gas bottles. So water's a huge issue still. And like I said, I've got this neighbour, but I haven't seen him to talk to and ask. So Jeff arriving with the water was a godsend. But it was shortly after he left that I noticed the uptick in my YouTube. I told you I like to look at the graphs. So when I release a video, it used to be if I got 3 views per hour, and none in the first hour. But if I got 3 views per hour for 5, 6, 8 hours, I was very happy with that. And then I started to get used to getting more. Maybe you get somewhere between 5 and 10 for the first 3 or 4 hours, and then it slacks off a little bit. And over the next few days, you carry on getting a few more, but not many. If you're lucky, a video makes it to 100 views. If you're really lucky, one might make it to 200 by the end of a week, kind of thing. If you do really well. Well, this video, the one with the food, with the bag of food from the bins, from next to the bins, it started bringing in 10 an hour. Just of that video, and then 5 other videos would be watched by the people who've been brought in by that. And then it went up to 20 views per hour for that video, and 10 of other videos. And the numbers just kept going up. It got crazy. We ended up at one point, we were getting 60 views per hour, between 40 and 60 per hour, every hour, for, I don't know, almost a day. Maybe less at night. But by the time you get to 2 or 3 in the morning, and the Americans are kind of going to you know, it's getting to be late at night for them, or later at night, things slow down a little bit, but don't stop entirely, because Australia and Singapore and wherever. But you got this thing, and often the end of the first day, midnight at the end of the first day, things stop. This wasn't even the first day. This was a video that had been out for 3 days already and done nothing. Relatively little. So for it to suddenly take off, and there was a gradual decline. I should do that in front of the camera, shouldn't I? It's not over here. You want to see the decline over here. I'm not good at this, guys. I'm still new at YouTube. Been what, 7, 8 months? End of May, I started this malarkey. I got coffee at the bottom of my beard here somehow. Runs down. Where was I? Yeah, so often you get this abrupt end somewhere around midnight. Bang, you're done. That video's not going anywhere. But no, the gradual decline, and then 5 or 6 in the morning, uptick again. I'll do it in front of the camera, shall I? And off we went again for another day. Fantastic. So yeah, this was all, that was Wednesday then. That's my Wednesday then. Checking the graphs. Seeing this one video doing well and watching which other ones were doing okay, and maybe going in and tweaking their keywords a little bit. See if I can give them a boost. This is my life now. It's kind of search engine optimization, but with videos. What else have I written here? Yeah, 20, 40, 60 views per hour. And it was, like I said, if you haven't seen the video, I think it's just called, the graphic is just thank you Torrevieja, which I think might be part of the hook. People look at the graphic and just see that and don't know what it's about, so they come on in. Yeah, don't know. But like I said, it just kept building and building. So what also started to happen, after you get lots of new viewers to your channel, there's a lag, but then you start getting new subscribers. And this was the thing. I was on, the last time we talked about this, the last I remember, we were on 370 something. Maybe 360 something. I think so. I thought it was 360 something, and when I got back in afterwards, it was 370 something. 372 or 373, something like that. Suddenly, I wake up the next morning. No, I fall asleep like 3 or 4 in the morning, whatever, and I'm on 383 subscribers when I fall asleep. And I wake up Thursday morning early, maybe only 3 hours after falling asleep. So fall asleep on 383, wake up and I'm on 386. They just keep coming. Even though we'd had this decline in the viewers, the subscribers just follow along. So yeah, some of you guys might be here. If you're one of the new guys, say hello in the chat. Just say, hello. Maybe tell us where you are and what country you're in, what time it is, how's the weather. You don't. You're not the most chatty bunch. I've got used to this fact. I'm used to I guess I'm just used to much higher viewership in streams that I'm watching, where the chat just flies by. Hundreds of chats. So that was Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So here we are. I wake up Thursday morning. And again, after charging my phone and everything needed charging, this time we're a little better. We're down to 2 lights, not down to 1. And we're going to have a nice sunny day. Dog walk, obviously, early. Hey babe, I was going to take my girl for her walkies. Not now, later. Talking about Thursday. So off we go, and it's nice and early. In fact, it's so early that as I'm walking around, I realise it's roughly sunrise time. Except not quite, because I haven't planned it. I'm just hitting this kind of sort of by accident. As we turn the corner, I get to see, because you can't see the sun from here, trees. But as we get around the corner, I see the sun's already up. But only just, it's literally still on the horizon. So I don't get to see it come above the horizon, but it is still on the horizon or thereabouts as we get around the corner. So I do a video of, sunrise. And I have the idea that we'll do another couple of videos through the day, and maybe we'll do a sunset or something after. And I remembered that we'd got an almost full moon the night before. So this day, Thursday, we would do a full moon. So I got this kind of idea of a video, sunrise to sunset, and maybe beyond. And that's what I called the video in the end. But we had a lovely sunny day, and like I said, checked the battery, so it was on 2 lights. I knew that the forecast was good. Hope to, for once, hope to see these 4 lights. 4 lights. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. It was a lovely sunny day. We got a lot of charge done, but we were still only on 3 lights at the end of the day. But I got that on as part of the closing part of the video. So the day then was basically, well, a couple of things happened, but mainly looking at the graphs, watching the numbers, because that's just me. I was a statistician once upon a time, you know? Well, technically, operations research consultant. Message went away before I saw it. How are you pronouncing that? I'm going to go with Miami Rose. Miami? I'm going to go with Burton-on-Trent, where they make the beer. Indeed. Good pints of bitter. Thank you for taking part in the chat and being here. And all of you guys, thank you for being here. Again, different cup this time. Still coffee. I'll do the show you thing because I don't want any grief from people suggesting that it's... Can you see that? I don't know where we are. No. Hopefully you can. I should have done that better. I could have turned the camera around like that. No, that didn't work. Oh, it's not taking my click. There we go. I can turn it around like that and done that and shown you that it's just black coffee. It's not red wine and cola or anything else as some people have suggested. Were you here for last week's? Did you see that? Oh, where was I? Okay, watching the graphs, yeah. And the other thing, glorious day. Tent, hot. Now, it's not winter hot, it's not summer hot. You know, in summer it was getting above 40 degrees in there. There was one day it approached 50. I think it hit 50. Check my videos. Probably one of the shorts. I did a few short videos looking because I've got a clock with a thermometer built in, digital. But I think I got one. I think I got one on screen at 50 degrees. Tina, that's enough. That's enough, darling. Tina, sit down. Sit down. One more time. Sit. No, she looked away. She looked away. Sit down and be a good girl. I was going to wave, but the lady was looking, but she looked away. Okay, where was I? Yeah, it gets above 40 and 50 degrees in there. There's no way, there are certain foods you just can't have. I was saying about having tubs of margarine. I think I've got 2 tubs of margarine and I've got 2 blocks of butter, one of which is partially used, but those can't survive probably another month from now if it carries on getting warmer like it seems to be. February, March, April can get a little bit rainy, but you still do get warm days at times. Yeah, certain things is no good. Like in summer, I can't begin to have. Well, I didn't I? Because I do my fridge thing, a wet towel in the shade with air exposed to the air. I can keep things cool-ish. Margarine will still melt, but not too much. That's technology for you. That's me being resourceful. I did do a video, did I? I think I did a video of my summertime refrigeration technique. I think so. So checking these, yeah, sunny day, came outside because it's too warm in the tent. Partly too warm because of the clothes I'm wearing now. It's only a month ago, isn't it? I put long pants on for the first time this year. This winter, and I've been wearing the flannel shirt thing, the check shirt, for a little while longer than that. But I was in shorts until early or mid-December. I think that's right. But now, on a sunny day, with the long pants on, and they're jeans basically. They're jeans, so they're warmer than just trousers. So I am considering switching back to shorts during the daytime. It's just I remember last year that all became a faff, in and out. But I was doing that under a just a tarpaulin rather than a tent. Although this tent's starting to deteriorate to that point. Deteriorating tent. I need to empty it out and sort things out. I've got to do that. Maybe this week. Maybe. Empty or bring everything out, look through, because there are things that I want that are buried under other bags and other. Same with my food. Food in plastic boxes and then other boxes put on top, and you lose track of what's where, and in the end you stop looking because it's too much of a faff. And then things get left too long or deteriorate, rot, go bad. The bacon, 9 months out of date. It's a good video. If you haven't watched it, please do. It was fine. It's bacon, it's preserved meat, it's what it is, it's its job. It does what it says on the tin. There isn't a tin and it doesn't say it, but you get the idea. It's a preserve. Thursday, check YouTube. 386. Rose, okay. I'm watching these subscribers rise. Sorry, folks. Don't know what happened there. I think my nose is getting cold. I hope it's not an actual cold, but I am. The sun's gone down behind the buildings now, and it'll be dark. Oh wow, 6:30 nearly. It's getting later, isn't it? There was a while it was getting dark at like 5:45 at one point. Now it's 6:30 and still nowhere near. Another quarter of an hour, maybe half an hour if we're lucky. I've got the light if we need it. Try and get through it all today rather than doing a second one unless we really need to. Depends how much I prattle on, doesn't it? I don't know how I do this, guys. If you knew me, you'd know me as the quiet, shy bloke. Part of the reason that I've kind of historically drunk as much as I have is because that's my way of socialising. It's how I come out of my shell. A couple of beers with the lads down the pub. Possibly got out of hand a little bit after I came to Torrevieja. Time on your hands, money in your pocket. Anyway, that's all in the past now. So watching these numbers rise from 386 first thing in the morning to 387, it went up to 388 and then fell back down 387. You get this as well. People subscribe, and then they maybe look at another one of your videos and realise that the channel isn't what they thought it was, or maybe they just don't like you after they see you again. Maybe they subscribe to watch a tramp and then they see a cookery video, or the other way around. They see a cookery video and subscribe, and then the next thing they know, it's a tramp getting food from next to a bin. Or floor pizza, as we detailed last week. Or was that the week before we detailed it, and last week was no more floor pizza. That's the series of events. Floor pizza, folks. Floor pizza. That would be episode 17 that we discussed floor pizza, if you've got no idea what that is. It's pretty much what the name suggests. It was in a cardboard box still. Probably just lost some subscribers. So, sunny, warm in the tent, come outside, sit here in a t-shirt. Hot. Too hot. But I hadn't eaten any food, so I did a fried egg sandwiches, 6 slices of bread, ketchup, 3 or 4 fried eggs cut up in the pan. They accumulate into one big fried egg. I have to cut it up afterwards, and into 3 for the sandwiches. Took a little video of it, but it wasn't a cookery video. So again, this is another clip that went nowhere. Like one I did, I think, where I looked at my yeast. Let's bear with me, because my yeast, I keep wondering whether it's alive or not. Let me turn this around. And it's in here, in this cup, that was donated possibly by one of you guys. Let's have a look. Does it look dead or does it look alive? There's a did you see that bubble come up on the left there? Top left. Or, well, left-hand side. It is bubbling away periodically. Now, some days I'll look at it. Again, there was another one at about, 8 o'clock, if that was a clock as you look at it. Unless your screen's reversed from mine, in which case it would have been 4 o'clock. I'm not sure. I don't know which way is which. I've never mastered that. I don't know which way is which. But it is bubbling. It is and it was done with yeast. It's not like I left it open to the air. It's not a sourdough starter with bacteria and yeast. It was just yeast, but it was dead yeast, or apparently dead yeast. Let me just put the lid back on. It smells yeasty. It's bubbling away. I feed it every second or third day, half a spoonful of sugar, or I did do when I had sugar. I've probably still got somewhere in there, as I was saying before about having these plastic boxes. I'm fairly certain I've still got sugar. I just don't know where. And again, take everything out, kind of do a, what's the word? Not logistics, not stores. Inventory, that's the word. I get there in the end, folks. You should see me do pub quizzes. I'm terrible. I've got a word, and I need to communicate it to the rest of the team, kind of thing. And I'm like 2 syllables. It rhymes with this. No, it's that bloke. He was in that film. No, not that one. Yeah. We get there in the end, but sometimes it's not a straight line. Terrible. I'm getting worse. Now, my mum did have some kind of early onset dementia. She died young anyway, but of lung cancer and OCPD, is it? Obstructive, what's that? OCP, obstructive coronary pulmonary disease, whatever that is. The smoking stuff. But for years she'd been unable to get anybody's name right. She'd run through the whole family before she got to you, including my sister's name. I did call Donna before I got my own name. I love her. Yeah, but I feel I'm getting some of that. It's part of the reason I came to Torrevieja. Just a feeling that, no point waiting until I'm 70 or 80 to retire and try and enjoy a retirement. I had some money in the bank, so I thought I would. I thought I'd be able to put the business on kind of autopilot with the people that we had, and I'd be able to come out here and supervise from afar. That didn't work out. But I had money in the bank. Still got money in the bank. Bastards just won't let me have it. Santander, I am coming for you one day. Fucking get you. Tina, go. Shush. Banks. Here I am living in a fucking field while my bank's sitting on my money. But I'm not bitter. Much. Okay, Thursday. Watching these numbers rise. Sat outside in the sun, egg butties, little video. Had to go inside. My arms were burning. I got sunburn. January. I think that was the 25th, was it? I think it was a Thursday. Not exactly sure on my days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And today's the 28th, yeah? Yeah, would have been the 25th. Thursday. Only 11 months to Christmas, folks. Already did that joke, didn't I? But yeah, had to go January the 25th, and I had to go back inside the tent because I was getting sunburnt. That's not bad. And I think you guys had storms the same day back in Britain, yeah? Snow and rain and wind and things. So yeah. So this is the one. I'll go back inside and we get into the night and I'm watching my graphs. And this is the one where we hit midnight and it drops off. Like I'd been waiting for what I expected the day before. So I start panicking. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Tweak a few more videos, tweak the keywords. And then I'm looking through the videos that I've got like in the pipeline that I've not put out yet. And the one that I've made all day Thursday. So sunset comes and it's rubbish. There's no real sunset. There's nothing, just a glow on the horizon, just mild. But then I turn around and there's the full moon there. So I get that, and I go inside and I undo the battery box in the dark and we can see the 3 lights glowing. And I show that, you know, we've captured some solar that day and done okay. And that's the end of the day. Tweaking these videos then and I edit this video ready for releasing the next morning because at midnight it looks like it's over. The thank you Torrevieja video looks to be dying a death. Let's get the next one ready, next one in the pipeline, let's go. And bearing in mind, I've still got 2 videos from the previous Friday where it rained. Some rain came out of nowhere and was a nuisance for a while. Well, it was forecast and then the forecast said not, and then the forecast said yes, and then not, and then it rained a little bit, but not as much as they said. I got this whole video where I rant about weather apps and weather forecasts and and my experience of here trying to prepare for rain and trying to survive what looks like it's going to be a 3 or 4 hour thunderstorm. Not a single fucking clap of thunder. But I've got these 2 videos waiting that haven't been released yet. So here I am going on with this Wednesday, Thursday and whatever. And I've still got videos from a week ago waiting to go. I've still got a beef teriyaki cookery video from fucking October waiting to go. One day. We'll get there. We'll get to it. We'll get there one day. Probably. Maybe. But anyway. The hits on the video drop off the cliff and I start preparing the next video to go in the morning. And then at 6, 7 in the morning, I think I've set the video to go at 8. At 6 in the morning, the views shoot back up. We're back. And now I've got a quandary, now I've got a dilemma. A dilemma. Dilemma? Dilemma. I'll go with dilemma. They say when you've got a video that's running, when you've got one that's running away with it and doing well, don't release another. These are some of the kind of the standard advice out there. And I've got a video primed to go in 2 hours, or by the time I notice that it's going, it starts at 6, so by 7:30, I've got this quandary, I've got this dilemma. What do I do with this video that's set to go at 8? Do I postpone it, set it for later in the day and monitor? And yeah. So yeah, so we're into Friday morning. This video's starting to go, the one that I thought had died, and I've got a video due to go. And I in the end, I let it release. And I'm still monitoring keywords and making tweaks because that's what I do. So yeah, the video picks up and the one that was already running picks up and runs. The new video looks like it's doing well, but then kind of stalls a little bit again, like they do. And despite this period, like I've said before, despite this period where the viewings of the videos dropped off, new subscribers just kept coming and kept coming. I don't understand the lag between the views and the subscribers. Whether it's just YouTube's reporting, maybe these things go into a different database and are held back and only updated hourly or periodically. It seems bizarre that at a time when I'm getting no views, the subscribers jump up. It's just a theory. I think it's probably to do with database management and load balancing with servers. Technical gubbins, don't worry about it. Okay, so Friday morning, before I get out of bed, this is when I finally get a response from Labara. Basically, after I've paid them the money and they've robbed some of my gigabytes, and I've said to them, "Oi, what's happening here? Why are you sending me a text telling me I've got 65 gigabytes left and that they're going to roll over into the next month, and then they don't, or not all of them do? What the hell is going on?" And it took them a day to answer. And this was after their app had been down for 4 days and I couldn't even check how many gigabytes I had. So when I'd seen this surprise late on Thursday and sent them a message saying, "What the hell?" And they came back to me and tried to just fob me off. "Oh, well, you see, you pay for 50 and we gift you 50. And it's only the ones that you pay for that roll over." I'm saying, "Okay, so you sent me a text saying you've got 65 gigabytes. Don't worry, unused gigabytes roll over." But they don't. You lied to me in a text is what you're saying. Well, in our terms and conditions. I said, "No, fuck your terms and conditions. Your text said you've got 65. Don't worry, unused gigabytes roll over." I said, when I got that text, I didn't go off and ask my solicitor to peruse your terms and conditions and contractual obligations. I said, you said to me that I had 65 gigabytes. Now, 3 days later, there's only 35 of those gigabytes there, and I've only used 10 or 12, or you're alleging 15, which seems like a lot anyway. We'll get to that separately. I'm going to investigate that because I think that they lied on that. But only 50 roll over. This was my whole 50 plus 50 plus 50 equals 50. You could potentially have 150 gigabytes sat in your account. Don't worry, they roll over. And only 50 of them do. And somehow this isn't deceptive practice. Getting angry again, folks. Getting angry. I've had a lot of issues with Labara since I've been with them. I feel like they've robbed me on multiple occasions. Is that too much? Hopefully not. If I look that way, you get the glare of the light, don't you? But I need it to see my notes in my book. But me and Labara, we don't have the best relationship. I may be looking for another provider. If it's easy to move the number that I've got and the SIM that I've got, if I can just move that to a different provider, I'd be happy to investigate that option. Because I think when a company do things like this, they should be punished. This is why I tweeted out and why I might make a video about this separately. Maybe I'll clip these where I've talked about them today, or maybe I'll just script a new video and do something new. I think we have to punish companies who abuse terms and conditions. In their advertising, I buy 100 gigabytes. That's what they say I'm paying for. In their terms and conditions, oh no, you buy 50. And out of the magnanimous nature of our heart, of the goodness of our heart, we give you another 50. And this is why this gift doesn't roll over. Only the ones you buy roll over. Fuck off. If your advertising says I'm buying 100 and I'm allowed some that rolled over from the month before, then, and you send me a text saying whatever you don't use rolls over, you know, if they sent me a text saying only 50 rolls over, then I could get on, I don't know, some torrent website and download. I could burn through my gigabytes and make use of them. I've got a hard drive in there. I can save things from my phone to a portable hard drive. You know, I could use my gigabytes if they told me this was what was happening. So that's going to be a thing this month. Each week, I'm going to look at where I am and pro rata, you know, and make sure that I stay on target to be close to running out at the end of the month, or to being under 50 left over to roll over. I'll play them at their own game. But I will happily look at options for other providers. Anyway, Friday morning, I get into this argument with them, and yeah. Oh, relax, Dean. Oh, relax. Okay, where are we? Subscribers carry on rising. Again, another day of sun sitting out here. Fried eggs. Was that? Might have been yesterday. Don't know. But it's another gorgeous day, another bit of sunbathing, adjusting the panels, trying to harvest solar, which takes us really, don't think anything significant happened through the day, takes us to Friday night. And I've discussed, earlier today, Friday Night Tights, my favourite podcast or YouTube video channel, Nerdrotic and Friday Night Tights. It's these guys who discuss the latest films, TV programs, computer games, all the pop culture stuff. And I'm watching this, and it starts at 10 and goes on while 1, 2, sometimes 3. Clank! Under my bed. Out of nowhere. I've not heard anything moving in the tent. But there's just this almighty clank. And then there's a scurrying. It's dark. I've just got the video playing by myself, but I can't see anything in the tent anywhere. And there's this smack, mousetrap. And I hear feet. And I shout, "Go away!" I assume that the mousetrap's gone off and the mouse has avoided it, because I can hear the feet. I hear what I think are feet. So he's gone clank, and there's this noise running. And I'm like, "Go away, get away!" And I realise after 4 or 5 seconds, it's not going, it's not moving. It's carrying on making the noise. There's movement, but there's no lateral, there's no progression. He's in the same spot. And that's when I realise that I'm not listening to a mouse trap that's been set off and that's missed and that the mouse is running away. I'm listening to a mouse that's been caught and is in his death throes. And that's never nice. And this is under my bed. Only just tucked under, like the foot of my bed. So if I look, I'll see him alive still and wriggling and moving. And I've learned not to look. That doesn't do my mental health any good. I've learnt from past experience not to look. If I suspect that one's caught and he's in his death throes, I leave him in peace to die. Occasionally, the noise just carries on and carries on and carries on, and it's not death throes, he's caught by the leg or something. In which case I'll pick the trap up and carry him outside and unspring it and let him run away. Done that 2 or 3 times now. But no, this one wasn't that. So I left it about 1/4 of an hour and went and saw him. And did a little video because I don't know how I feel about that. I released that this morning, but so that was Friday night into Saturday morning. Disposed of him. I've got a bin bag inside the tent, and I've got 2 in there now. 2 mice. I don't like just throwing them away in the rubbish. I mean, what does that say? Don't like taking a life, and I don't like just disposing of them in the rubbish like that. But what can you do? I'm not going to dig a hole and have a funeral service, am I? So I don't know. Anyway, back to YouTube. Half an hour later, after I've disposed of the mouse and reset the trap and everything, we're on 399 subscribers. So I send out, I think I did a tweet. I'm not sure if I did a YouTube community message as well or not. I'd done one through the day saying, like, we're on 395 and we're getting close and get on board before we hit 400. You know, Get on board before I'm famous. Kind of joke. But I put out this tweet, and a guy, we become kind of friends on Twitter, if there is such a thing. We follow each other, we talk each day, we tweet each other's posts and what have you. And he retweeted. They're not called that anymore, but it's not called Twitter even, is it? But he retweeted my message, and he's got I think he's got a couple of thousand followers. And one of his followers jumped on board, a bloke called Christian. He came across and subscribed. Number 400. So, cheers to Christian. And to the rest of you, all you subscribers, and all of you viewers here now, if you're not subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, why not? It's free. Okay, and if you're drinking along at home, cheers. I'm not. It's just coffee and chocolate. And for some reason, I'm not enjoying it. I don't know. So yeah, we hit 400, and shortly thereafter I will have fallen asleep. 400 subscribers. Maybe another hour I might have stayed up just watching the graphs again, and it carried on through the night. Didn't peter out. Oh yeah, I was awake quite late. That's right. I woke up 10 a.m. just before, like 5 to 10, something like that. That's not bad for a tramp, is it? I remember when I used to live in the park over there, I would get woken up before 7 o'clock every morning by people walking dogs. In my early days here, in this field, the garage in the distance there, if I can just show you this, I don't know how well this will show. Sorry, you got a close-up on my face. But you see the garage there? Well, in the morning, they'll put the lights on and the guy arrives and starts clanking gas bottles and things. The Repsol garage, they do propane and butane gas cylinders. And they have them all locked up in a cage. And then they start shuffling them around, moving the empties to one side and the full ones forward. And, that'll all start 7 o'clock-ish in the morning. Roller shutters as they open the doors and things. So when I was outside and just sleeping on a bed outside here, all these things would wake me up. Sometimes the night would just be interminably long. Remember, I said that my first night here, the place flooded, and exactly 1 month later, it flooded again. All my electronics, everything was ruined. I had nothing. So I'm here. It goes dark in winter, like we said before, 5:30, 5:45. And that's it. Until 8 o'clock the next morning in midwinter. 8:15, 8:30, for it to probably be getting light. What do you do? All my electronics were gone. There was no phone, there was no radio, there was I had nothing. I couldn't even read a newspaper or a book. I would find them in the bins or around the bins, find these things, but I didn't have any lights. I had nothing. So that winter, a night could be interminably long. You could fall asleep at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and you could wake up, and I didn't have any timepiece. I didn't have any way of knowing what time it was. Is it 2 o'clock in the morning? Is it 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock? Or is it still 8:30 at night? And some nights I would have, when you have that sleep and you wake up and you'd swear you've had a full night's sleep, and it's only 2 hours later. I could do that 4 times in a night. The nights would just last fucking forever. The nights could just be forever. So I want to juxtapose that against now. I'm in a tent. I'm in my own private little space. Even if people are driving past to work or walking past and walking their dogs on the little track here, I'm in my private little space. I can sleep until 10 o'clock if I've been awake until 6 or 7 in the morning. It's different. And I can be awake while 6 and 7 in the morning because I've got a phone. I can watch films that I've downloaded previously. I've got internet access, usually. The bar again, sometimes not. It can disappear for an hour or two. But I've got entertainment. I've got YouTube. I've got Twitter. I can get in a nice argument with some Americans because they're still awake at that time. Yeah, Twitter, it's made for arguing, isn't it? Especially when I do these maths quiz things. These, you'll have seen the maths puzzles on Twitter. I like my maths, so, and stats and things. But I do those puzzles, and you get people shouting about how this is first grade maths and they've got it wrong. And you're just like, the fuck? What are you doing, lad? Making a big show about how easy it is while posting to the world the wrong answer. Yeah. Oh, what was that? Coffee on the bottom of my beard again. So yeah, here we go. Saturday morning, it's 10 a.m. I've been up late at night. We hit 400, yeah? I wake up, 403. It's like, what? Every time I look, if I looked an hour later, it'd gone up again and up again. At the minute, you guys will be able to see the number of subscribers. I can't in this app, and I can't come out of this app. It was 412 when I started this stream, I think. It's probably gone down now because people who subscribed and didn't know who I was or what the score was, now they see what a plonker I am and they've left. Maybe we've had time and maybe one or two more have joined. I've no idea. Let me know in the chat. And guys, I know different people are leaving and new people are joining all the time. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, now's the time. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it. If you haven't seen enough yet to make up your mind, after we finish here, watch a couple more videos and see whether it's for you. In particular, you might want to check out TrampCast 001. This one you're watching is TrampCast 19. TrampCast 001 has all the history, all the background, who I am, my schooling, my education, my degree, my employment history to some extent, how and why I'm in Torrevieja, how I became homeless and a tramp. All of that good stuff. It's all there. So TrampCast is a good one. The I ate bacon 9 months out of date and you can too video is another good one to watch. I think I've renamed it slightly since. It's now called Can You Eat Bacon Past Its Sell-By Date? Something like that. But basically I cooked bacon and egg sandwiches with bacon that was 9 months out of date, and it's fine. And I've got another pack and I'll do it again sometime soon, maybe in another month or two. See whether it's still fine. Maybe we'll leave it for 3 months and do it as a 12-month out of date thing. Maybe. I don't know. I'll make this shit up as I go. And I'm a grown-up, I do swear. If that offends you, unfortunate. Live with it. Where are we? Another good one is the one that's just come to an end now. The thank you Torrevieja with a J. It means old tower in Spanish. Torre is tower, vieja or viejo, both mean old. It's the name of the town, name of the city that I'm in, or on the outskirts of. Well, I'm literally on the edge because beach, cliffs, seaside, Mediterranean. Okay, we're into Saturday, aren't we? It keeps climbing. Oh, okay. Took the dog for a morning dog walk. Didn't get home for about four hours. So, here's a little bit of inside baseball, I guess. A guy called Damien bought me some proper, walking boots. Like part trainer, part Americans you would say plimsoll, wouldn't you? I don't know. But so they're not like leather hiking boots, but they're that shape of training shoe with coming up the ankle and everything. And so I've got proper good footwear for walking. But he also gave me a pair of old training shoes that have got holes in and that are falling apart, and that was 8 months ago. They're falling apart even more now. And when I'm around camp, I just slip these on. They're slip-ons. I think you call those loafers. The ones that you just put in. There's no laces or anything. They're just kind of elasticated. So that's what I use in and around camp. So if I'm just walking the dog for 5 or 10 minutes, that's what I've got on my feet. And the back of the ankle, the plastic has poked through the padding and digs into my feet. But I'm only wearing them. I'm not walking. I'm not going anywhere. It's only for 5 or 10 minutes. No big deal. So when you go out for 4 hours on a dog walk by accident. So we went out, we went somewhere, and I sat on a chair, and I think we sat there for an hour, maybe a little bit more. And it's only when I got up to walk back, I remembered that I got my phone in my back pocket. I was going to swear there, but I didn't. Got my phone on me, phone in my back pocket. So I thought, oh, we'll just do a couple of quick videos. Didn't know whether I'd managed to make anything of it. But that became the dog walk video that I released this morning after the dead mouse video. Because I knew, I suspected that this video that's been doing really well was going to stop. It was going to peter out entirely sometime soon. And I think it did. And then I released this dead mouse in the mousetrap video. And I knew that wasn't going to be to everyone's taste. I knew that wasn't, I mean, you're here watching a tramp discuss his week. That's fairly niche as it is. That's not going to appeal to many people. And then a tramp telling you all about how the mousetrap under his bed went off and there's a dead mouse. That's not going to appeal to many, is it? I see you all leaving now just from me mentioning it. So after an hour or two, I thought, well, I better release something a bit more upbeat, a bit more cheerful. And I tacked on a little, like an advert for this TrampCast on the end of the mouse video before I released it. And I cut that as a separate thing now, and I can now use that on the end of other videos. So I used that on the end of the dog walk video and put that out. And that seems, the last I checked, that was doing okay. Not spectacular like these other ones had been doing, but okay. Better than the dead mouse one's going to go nowhere in terms of viewership or subscribers. Maybe take the channel backwards. But here's my thoughts on this. I'm documenting my life. And if my life includes the odd dead rat or dead mouse, then I've got to document that. Otherwise, I'm not doing a proper job of reporting my life. And if some people don't like it, I'll give fair warning and they can avoid it. If they watch it, find it horrendous and unsubscribe, them's the breaks. I can't do anything about that. I'm not going to not publish the bad side of my life because it might offend somebody. That's not how this works. I'm documenting the life of a homeless guy, made homeless by circumstance, not by alcohol addiction or drug addiction or any of those other psychiatric problems, all those assumptions that you might have about how somebody becomes homeless. That's not me. And it's not a lot of the other guys that I see. Some, yes, some. There was a guy that I was getting quite friendly with, and then he flipped on a dime one day. Wouldn't explain what he was upset about. And that was it. That's the last I've seen of him. But that's not me. I don't have that 0 to 100 anger management issue. I'm not psychotic. There's no psychiatric issues that I know of. Nothing diagnosed anyway, folks. You tell me. There's possible autism with the way that I'm into these graphs going up and down and my maths background. Maybe. I'm not Rain Man or anything, you know what I mean, but I don't know. But I like a drink. Who doesn't? But I'm not. So all of those assumptions and stereotypes that people have, that's not me. But I'm documenting my life. Here endeth the rant. So here we go, Saturday. So I turn that dog walk into just a bit of a video. I have a category of video of like Tina takes centre stage, a playlist, and I just a few scenic shots, of the different bays and boats out on the Mediterranean, and then the walk home, just me and the dog. Something and nothing, but it's more cheerful than the dead mouse video. Or the dead rat one that I did Christmas morning. What was I thinking? But then the rat died, clunk in the big trap, and the rat was there. What are you going to do? It's Christmas Eve and you've got a dead rat in your tent. Turn it into a video. I've got to document this. I'm not filming it just for YouTube clicks. Not really. I mean, there's an element of that, I guess. But I'm documenting my life. The guy that I was just talking about before that I had the falling out with, he's living in a cave. 800 meters that way. Half a mile to you freedom units folks. Half a mile that way. He's in a cave and he's got mice running around in the walls and on the different crevices of the cave. So yeah, just document this stuff. So Saturday, the walk, the video, more sunshine, and it was Saturday. It wasn't Friday that I had the second lot of bacon butties. That not bacon, egg sandwiches, egg butties. That was yesterday, Saturday. I remember it clearly now. So yeah, another glorious sunny day, and more or less the day. So we get to Saturday night, and when the podcast question from at the beginning, the getting to know your face, I mentioned Big Clive and how he's been doing these Saturday night live streams for 4 years now, and next week is going to be the last one. That's going to leave a hole in my calendar, in my schedule. It is a fixed part of my weekly routine. There's Friday Night Tights at 10 o'clock on Friday night, and there's Big Clive Live at 10:05 Spanish time on Saturday. And next week's going to be the last one of those. So it's been with me for long before I was homeless. From more or less, I think I've watched Big Clive's videos because of his electronics expertise, or electrical and electronics expertise. But then when he started doing these live streams during lockdown, it's been a regular fixture for me for 4 years, apart from those 4 or 5 months where I didn't have any electronics, where I didn't have any after the flood that damaged everything and took everything away from me. So yeah, that's Saturday night. After him, there's a guy called Scruff Dog does a stream, and I generally try and watch that and take part in the chat. Unlike you guys, I take part in the fucking chat on a live stream. But it's late. By the time he starts, it's 12 o'clock onwards, and I'd been awake a long time the night before, and I don't know, it just got to me. So I fell asleep, kept falling asleep and waking up and falling asleep. Wake up and check the stats because, graphs. I want to see the numbers rising. So as I fell asleep, we were on 412 subscribers. So you'll see that's, as far as I know, because you haven't told me otherwise, that's still where we're at now. So you can gather from that shortly thereafter, the video that had been a runaway success, YouTube stopped promoting it as heavily, and it petered out and went away. So I'm falling asleep and waking up, falling asleep, waking up. We get to 4 o'clock on Sunday morning, and I've mentioned in the past a live stream called Flashcast that I like. This week it started at 4:30. Has it's a movable feast. Anywhere between 4 and 5 it can start. I saw it was scheduled for 4:30 today, and I think it was about a quarter of an hour late getting started even then. So unfortunately I started to watch that, and after half an hour or an hour, I was gone. I fell asleep. Woke up about 10 minutes before it finished. So I've got that downloaded. I'm going to watch that tonight. But that's more or less, that brings us into Sunday. And as I've explained in the past, my main activity on a Sunday is preparing the notes for this show. If it's a show, would you call it a show? What do you think? Program, show? I don't know. Sounds grandiose. I don't know that I would really call it a show. Other people's I consider a show. Mine, not so much. So yeah, this morning I released the dog walk video, and I'm monitoring how that goes. Keep making tweaks to the keywords and titles and things. I almost forgot to set this live stream up. It takes time to set up. You have to put a bunch of settings in and upload a thumbnail and get it all ready. I almost forgot. I was so busy doing the notes last minute that I didn't leave myself enough time to announce it. I think with less than an hour to spare, I got it announced and set up, and a thumbnail done, and announced it onto Twitter and the YouTube community page. So yeah, what else? I don't think there's anything more. That's my week up to date. Yeah, when they turned the tap off on the video that was running away. So yeah, that just leaves, guys, that prepping for TrampCast. Yeah, I had to find all these random facts, like about the number 19. And think of some answers for these random questions as they're getting to know you stuff. It takes time. Faking it, coming up with a list of books so that I can sound intellectual as well. Now, I do like Jerome K. Jerome. I do like all the books that I mentioned when I talked about that. He is probably my favourite author. Unless I think of anyone else in the meantime. So that just leaves what's upcoming this next week. And there's not really anything on the schedule. Except for the things that I didn't do this week that I've talked about. I've got some tent repairs to get done before we have another windy day. There's a couple of quite bad rips now in places that you don't want rips. Got to get on with that. Karen's here. Maybe I'll get a haircut and a beard trim this week. I'm not sure. We haven't discussed it yet, but maybe. I do need it. I might get her to take the lot off, the beard, not the hair. I still haven't managed a hair wash. I said last week that I need a hair. I haven't washed my hair for a few weeks. I haven't got the spare water. I said about not having enough water to wash clothes. I might be able to spare some water now for a hair wash. That doesn't take as much. Yeah. Sounds weird saying I haven't washed my hair for weeks, but your hair kind of gets used to it. It's a bit greasy at the minute, but that's because it's been a few weeks. But I got the things. I said last week that I might make a beef flavoured. I haven't got any beef, but a beef flavoured stew with bovril or stock cubes or gravy granules, and maybe do something with dumplings. That's still on the cards. Still hasn't happened, so it's still held back. I looked at the weather forecast for the coming week. Monday and Tuesday are going to be cloudy. That might be a problem. But no rain anywhere mentioned. But if you do eventually watch any of my there's a playlist called "The Rain in Spain Falls Mainly on Me." That's literally the name of the playlist. If you look down in the description, it's probably not there at the minute. sometimes I manage to put this in. At the bottom of the description, there's a list of playlists. I usually put that in after the show. There I go again. It might be there already, it might not. It depends how organised I was, and I don't remember. Again, folks, we're about to end in the next 5 minutes or so, so stick with us to the end if you can. But when it ends, the stream gets privated automatically by YouTube, and I need 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes to get in and set it public. So if you joined halfway through, and at the end you want to go back and watch from the beginning, just give me a few minutes to set it public again, so that that'll be available. I have no control over that. There isn't a setting I can tweak to make it so they don't do it. Well, I think when you're a new streamer, when you're new at this, they put that setting on. It might go away once you're an old hand. Maybe when I hit 500 subscribers, or maybe when I hit 1,000, it might. Because I've noticed other large streamers that doesn't happen. I don't know. I'm still new at this. My first stream, I think it'll be, we're on 19, so that would add up to approximately 5 months, wouldn't it? At one a week. So when was 5 months ago? August-ish. Yeah. Because I was aiming for August the 14th if we got enough subscribers, but we missed it by about a week. So we probably hit 200 subscribers, which was the goal that I'd set. We probably hit that around August the 21st, and whenever the next Sunday after that would have been the first live stream, I guess. Logic, guys, logic. Okay, what else is on? I've noticed that the nights are going to be cooler this coming week. We're back down to 9 degrees at night. We've just had a couple of weeks where they were 14, 15, 16 degrees. Some nights I was too hot in bed. Had to take my shirt off and just be in t-shirt and jeans in bed. I told you that I've got a nice private space, but shit could still go wrong. I can't be caught like in just my undies or something if the tent blows away, or you know what I mean. I have to be prepared. I'm outside basically. It's just 2 layers of fabric between me and the outside world. There's literally no walls between me and the sea, or me and that main road, or me and this little track where people are walking dogs and things. Anything could happen. Dogs have run down. People have let their dogs off to run, not realising that I'm here maybe, and the dog runs through the middle of my camp with a guy running after it. Anything could happen. A couple of weeks ago, 4 people came trekking through the trees, cutting through, like where there isn't a path, you know, through knee-high brambles and, you know. I'm living in a field. Anything could happen. 3 in the morning or later, 3 or 4 in the morning, these 4 people come trekking through, making all sorts of noise, and yeah, anything could happen. So I'm not undressed in bed. Got to be ready for anything. So yeah, cooler nights. Still need hair wash, I've mentioned that. I need to wash some clothes at some point. If I can get more water and then get enough water. Because whatever I get needs to do me for another week or so, and 3 or 4 of these 8-litre bottles to throw away on the washing. Some things, you put the water in just like for an initial rinse, a pre-wash, and the water just turns to sludge. If I've wore a t-shirt, as I do, for a week, sometimes more, yeah, I'm a tramp, guys, you know. I can't be like changing my clothes 3 times a day, and there's no money for a laundrette. There's a laundrette just 2 blocks that way, but a laundromat, as some of you might call it, if you're American or anywhere in North America, I think. But no, I haven't got the money for that. It's 7-8 euros to use a laundrette. If I had €8, I'd find a better use for it than clean clothes. So yeah, cookery videos, cooking, wash. I want to bake bread. I showed you my yeast before and how it's alive. That was a video, wasn't it? It's alive! It's only a little one. But because when I did make the pizza, if you haven't watched it, that's another one. I was giving you a list of videos worth watching if you're new here. The making pizza from scratch, even though my yeast was dead that day. I've resurrected it. I am Dr. Frankenstein. Interesting fact, he was never a doctor in the book. He was actually an undergraduate student. Not even a grad student. He was an undergrad and he dropped out. All this Dr. Frankenstein nonsense. Not a doctor at all. Guy's a fake. Okay, folks, I think that's it. Like I said before, it's going to take me 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Oh, police just going by. It went really slow as they get to the top of the field here. You've never seen traffic move slow. When a police car goes past here, he moves slower than when the tourist train goes past. You know when you get basically a vehicle in the shape of a train and it's pulling 2 or 3 carriages on the road. They got one of those goes past for tourists. That's really slow, but when a police car goes past, it's even slower. Anyway, folks, like I said, we're done. Thank you very much for joining me. 400 subscribers, onwards to 500 when some snazzy features get unlocked for me on YouTube. So I would appreciate it if you've enjoyed this or any of my previous streams. Tell people. Spread the word if you could. Share it out. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, I don't know. I can't even name them. I don't do most of them. But tell people. Tell your friends. Tell people at work. We're done. Okay, folks. Thank you very much for joining me. Onwards and upwards from here. And see you next week. Okay, if you do want to hop back and catch it from earlier, give me those few minutes. We'll be right with you. But for now, I can't show you, but from Tina, who's just down here, and from me, Delta Mike, out.